أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين أما بعد. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says in His glorious book in Surah Al Imran chapter 3 verse 103, in the beginning of that verse, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. This appears in that verse. And hold firmly to the rope of Allah and do not be divided. Now, Islam advocates unity among believers and warns against division. Disagreements between people is something natural, because Allah created us unique. We all have our views, we all differ in certain things, and we will disagree on certain things. But there are three types of disagreements I want to talk about today. The first type is a neutral type. It's not good, it's not bad, it's neutral. And it's disagreement when incomplete knowledge exists. For example, we differ every year, like clockwork, about the beginning of Ramadan, about the end of Ramadan. Today is Ramadan, tomorrow is Ramadan. No, it's the day after. That disagreement is rooted in not knowing the full picture. But if somebody comes in and says somebody sighted the moon and it's certified, then a disagreement disappears. Because that disagreement is based on the amount of information that we have. If you have the full information, then, once all the information is known, nobody can disagree on that. So that's the first type. The second type is the bad type of disagreement, is division because of interests and benefit. So it's a big problem that after the truth is known, then someone would insist on something else that goes contrary to the truth and contrary to what the facts are. And, you see it a lot of times where people will collaborate on something very good, but once material gains come into the picture, they start differing and disagreeing among themselves, and divisions and conflict follow. So this type of agreement is rooted in the self-interest and transgression. You want something, and there is no way for you to get it except by transgressing the right of others. And that's what desires and personal interest. You want to pull the blanket to you, while somebody else is not going to have that blanket if you're going to pull it to you. So that type of disagreement, Allah does not like. And we see that where Muslims, where we have 95% in common with each other, our God is one, our book is one, our prophet is one, yet we differ and fight among each other. When you see non-believers with 5% commonality, they agree and collaborate with each other to do stuff. Now, people who want to take what is not rightly theirs, they would even use the Quran, twist the verses to justify what they want to do. So they don't look at the verses as, here's what we're supposed to do. No, they know what they want to do. They want to twist the verses to achieve the outcome. Now, this type of disagreement will angers Allah because it causes division. Injustice causes division. And we are seeing this in this country, where if you have an election where everything is fair and everything is tallied, okay, we won, we lost, it doesn't matter because it is fact. But when cheating comes in and now there is some acts going on, it's very hard to get people to agree on an outcome. So this is the second type. The third type is disagreement and competition in acts of good. Now, believers may differ in the pursuit of goodness. Some may think that the best act is to call to Allah, to make da'wah. Others may think, no, writing a book about Sharia and things like that is the best way, education. Some may think maybe building a masjid or a hospital or something else is the best way. That disagreement is great. Allah loves that type of disagreement because believers complete and support each other. As a whole, with our different interests, then we complete each other. And that type of disagreement, it's not really disagreement, it's more competition. And that's the type that Allah loves. So any difference in pursuing the best action with every good intention is loved by Allah. And that enriches the ummah. Now, Muslims have to be united. The verse says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Allah is not asking us, well, maybe you could, maybe. No, He's saying you must be united. And why wouldn't you be united? Like I said before, you have one God, one book, one prophet, one set of divine revelation to go after. Why, what's the reason for the division? So we submit to Allah's divine law because it's from the Creator. Because Allah said, and He is the Creator, when He legislates something, He has no personal interest in it. He legislates it for our benefit. So everybody accepts it and, and comply with it. But when we stray from these teachings and we want to do what we want to do, we want to follow our desires, I know you're not supposed to do this, but if I sell pork in my shop, I can make more money. That's personal interest coming in, and now you're twisting the laws to justify what you're doing. So disagreement that are based on interest, there should be, at the top of it is the welfare of the entire ummah, of the community that you're in. That should be the top priority, not what's good for you. There is no I in Islam. It's a collective. Your rights are preserved, but the collective has to be observed also. So when we stray away from the teachings of Allah, then we split into quarreling factions. And any disagreement that's based on common interest and desires, just because you want something, it sows division. It causes division in the society. So non-Muslims may point to the disagreement and the conflict between Muslims as, see that there's something wrong with that religion. I mean, we hear that in this country. Something's wrong with Islam. What's wrong with these people? They do not distinguish between Islam is perfect, but Muslims are not. We fall short, way short from the standard that Allah wants us to observe. So in truth, that the poverty that you see in the Muslim world, the weakness, the conflict, the fighting, the wars, they're all symptoms of straying away from the divine guidance and following desires and following what's good for my tribe against somebody else's tribe, or this country against that country. And that's not what the directive from Allah is. The directive from Allah is وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. All of you, individually and collectively, hold fast to the rope of Allah. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala sent messengers with guidance to unite mankind, because the guidance that's revealed by Allah unites mankind. His divine law unites because they were designed for the benefit of the creation, for our benefit. Allah gets no benefit from His legislation, because He doesn't need us, He doesn't need anything. Allah does not benefit from it. We do. But if you notice that man-made laws, they divide because they're formulated to benefit the legislator at the expense of others. You want to do something, well, it's a net-sum game. You want to have more than your share, that means somebody else is going to have less than their share. And if somebody wants in and puts a man-made law, you can legally rob people, and it's all legal. And that type causes division. You'll never have people that are cohesive and will collectively want the betterment of society if they follow man-made laws. So the truth unites. but desires divide. Principles unite. When you have principles like honesty, like truthfulness, all of these are principles. They unite. But personal interests disband. You want some other people to do something that benefits you and doesn't benefit them. That will never unite. Justice unites, but injustice divides. If you want to solve division and problems in a society, let injustice run rampant. So we must hold fast to the rope of Allah. And the rope of Allah is His covenant, His commands, His directives, His Quran, the Sunnah of His Prophet. These are the rope of Allah. When we all hold fast to it, it will unite us. We must learn how to respect each other's viewpoints because we will differ. But in the end, we love Allah, we love His Prophet, we love Islam, and we want to do the best for our community. We just differ on the methodology of how we should go around to do it. But if we put Allah's commands as the focal point, then we will be united. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم.